Ooh, who? What's happening, man? I couldn't decide which one to do. Uh, I'm listening back to the dream stuff. I made a playlist. I'm trying to organize that shit a little bit so that like people can kind of, the beings that go in there can see like kind of the um different paths that my brain can take as far as the things that I research and the things that I study. I think it's also going to help me to like look at it in that fashion. Because I just kind of do. I mean, it all is just reality studies to me, But um, within that, I think that different types of brains have to see different prompts. You know what I mean? Like different prompts will garner different interests from different people, different beings. So I'm gonna make some playlists, and that should, at least kind of show where my head's at with some of this stuff in a more broad sense. Um, I'm listening to the dream stuff. I fucked up yesterday, and whenever I see someone like in the stream and they request to jump in, I feel like I like conversation, so I feel an urge to just do it, But I have to cut that out. I got to stop doing that because sometimes I'm trying to do a thing, Sometimes I'm doing an episode or I'm trying to do something, and though I understand that I'm doing that on Instagram, the fact remains that just because they send the request doesn't mean I have to accept it. So I'm not putting it on them so much as me. I'm gonna start doing different. I'm gonna start doing like titles of the streams, and I think that should maybe help, but maybe not, because I mean when I see people, when I see beings that are live, I don't see the title really. You see it when it flashes up in the notification, but then when it goes away, you really just go and hit their avatar. You may or may not, and some of you use Instagram on the computer. I don't do that. I'm not getting on the computer for social media. That just seems to be a bit much for my taste. I think that if I stick to that, though, I can maybe not have stuff like last night happen. My intention was to get through all of the dream stuff last night, and it turns out that it might have ended up being like, the best way possible, because honestly, what happened was I got through the first two scenarios and then I didn't get into the third one. But now that I'm listening back, I've listened to the redux, the reproduction of the first two. That was, good, fine. And I'm not taking down the old ones because there's contextual shit, there's little side conversation and shit in there that's kind of cool. But I did want to revisit and maybe fix some of the audio a little bit, kinda. But I'm listening to the third scenario, the original third scenario, and I don't think I'm gonna redo that one. I know the audio is kind of like goofy on it because I did that. As soon as I invite somebody in, the audio changes, and it's not good. It's all patchy and shit. But at the same time, like, the other being doesn't come in on this one, and so it sounds not the best quality, but I just don't think I'm not in the same space that I was in then. And apparently that wasn't that long ago. It says it was a month ago, which is weird. I don't feel like that was a month ago, but apparently it was. So it wasn't that long ago. The audio is not great, but it's not terrible. I'm listening to it. I don't mind it. Different people have different goals. If you're looking for like a super pampered podcast type experience, maybe later, dude. I'm not really getting a lot of help with this, or I'm getting no help with this. So I'm not going to put that much into it if it's not, a reciprocal thing. And I'm not saying that toward the audience. I'm saying that just generally speaking toward the show. I'm going to put as much into the show as I can, but I am also like, I'm doing other stuff. I'm doing a lot of research on stuff that's going to come later. I'm trying to like come up with topics for this show. I mean, I really shouldn't need to list the many other things that I'm doing on top of being a parent and actually like being present and playing with my son and all these things. So I don't think I'm going to redo that one. I am going to pick back up on the dreams though. I'm going to be a lot more focused this time. I'm not going to bring anybody into it that I think is going to move the conversation away from dreams. So I may still potentially bring somebody in, but only if I think that they can stick to the topic of dreams or stick to the topic that I'm even on within that moment. As far as like how I think I have 3 more experiences that I'm going to talk about, and that's just if I stick to mine. There are some that I think are cool that are not mine, that I'm trying to get permission to talk about. So we'll see. I plan on trying to kind of like make it up to you with this third one, and it's technically just a second one. I got kicked off as soon as I said the state where something happened to me. I got kicked off. Very weird. I don't believe in coincidences. You can say what you wish, but I don't believe in coincidences, and synchronicity doesn't work like that. Synchronicity does not work like that. That was very intentional, very specific, and it happened the same day as some other weird bot shit in my comments. So, progress, right? Getting some attention to you, the attention givers. Fuck. Yeah, dude, I try not to be too self-conscious about that shit, but I really did fuck that up last night. I did say it's salvaged, though. I did some goofy editing, little tiny bit of goofy editing with a very useful app. I think it's called like X Recorder or something like that. Very helpful. CapCut, fuck you, CapCut. That was dumb, trying to use CapCut. Not really, if you want to slide me a couple shillings to take back the fuck you, CapCut. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. Yeah, this isn't a pregame. I was just coming to kind of like maybe chop it up. But seeing as though many of you're all over the place. You're in all these different countries, and I have no idea. I have no concept of time, even within my own vicinity. Time here feels weird and always has to me. So when you add like being in a different time zone, the farther away it gets, the more I lose it. There's some in Australia. I still don't necessarily get the time change there. UK, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, just many places. Guam, I think I saw one time. Many places, I don't know what time it is where you are, so who knows if someone will actually, that I like bringing in, that is, will actually come in. If not, I might just like, I might just shove off, you know what I mean? Because I don't really have too much, other than the dream thing and how, I really just don't think I'm going to redo that third story. I'm still listening to it. I just pulled the earbud out of my ear to do this, but like, so far, I'm just not going to... And even if it is not... If there's something that comes up that's not great, I might just use that same X Recorder thing and like maybe do a little MacGyver stuff. and just MacGyver an episode out of that. Maybe bring the vocals up a little bit. I just don't feel like doing that shit. Whenever he goes to take a ride to maybe fall asleep for a nap and stuff like that, that's basically my break. You know what I mean? Like, I'm taking a break. But usually when I go to take that break, I'm donating that time to this, that energy to this. So whether that's doing some research, some physical experimentation real quick, if I'm doing something like that in the moment, like, and you could argue that's not taking a break. That's not really me taking a break, but it's necessary and it's paying off, it's only been a couple months and I'm about to hit 3,000, which it's not that I care about that a lot, and it's not that I don't care about it at all. Just, I would like to be able to consolidate this. That is the only reason I'm I'm paying any attention to the view count like that. No, it's not the only reason. The other reason is, I'm trying to make sure that I'm talking about things that are interesting, that are helpful, because I'm doing this research regardless, and I'm still going to put the videos up even if it seems like they're not really that interesting to you all, because it's documentation, and it's public documentation, which is the most important part in a very, very popular venue, very popular app. So regardless, I am going to do it, but it does help me for times where I'm not really doing anything, or I don't need to document something specifically, where I can keep the conversation going. I, do like talking to y'all, and I like asking you random off the cuff questions that have nothing to do with, nothing has nothing to do with my research, but maybe it's not going into the stuff I'm doing right in the moment. But those numbers do help with that. But for the most part, it's just because I would like to just live stream straight on YouTube. I don't want to have to do it through these weird fucking filters that it uses and shit. I kind of verified through YouTube that that's not done as often. I think I still might have noticed it once or twice, but it's all the same. It's all that Oath company, So I'm not really expecting it to completely get rid of the filter shit or the weird gang stalking shit, but maybe less. And even with that, I'm tired of having to go from one app to another, download the video from one app to my phone, and then do all this extra shit. I would rather just be able to stream directly to it. But I'm far away from that, so I'm not really looking for it to happen anytime soon. But I definitely didn't. I won't say I didn't expect. I was pleasantly surprised by how quickly I'm about to hit 3,000. That's cool. That's cool. And I've had some good conversations. That's the main thing for me, I think. I've had some good conversations. I found a co-host that we're intent on making a show together. I've had good interactions with beings that kind of went in my direction, good interactions that went in the other being's direction, all kinds of stuff. So it's honestly been therapeutic for me in a time where shit's kind of fucked up, just speaking on a personal level, shit's kind of fucked up right now, as it is for many of us, and it's just been something to kind of be able to speak out loud, just therapeutic stuff. Yeah. So that's cool. I don't know what's up with the Patreon thing. I have ideas for those, but I don't. It's hard to it's hard to say, oh, I'm gonna put all this energy into making these videos, and they'll still be there. So it's not like wasting time or wasting energy or anything like that. But there's so little to be had currently. And the fact that they kind of sabotaged it at the launch, I could relaunch or something like that, but that's kind of dumb too. In a way, it doesn't really matter when you launch. It's how much shameless plugging you're willing to do, and people have to feel like you're gonna keep consistently. It's just some stuff. It's just some stuff. Um, I am trying to figure out that personal stuff though. But like I said, if I'm having to figure out ways to do it from you know from the streets from the streets. That sounds like I'm trying to be extra hood or some shit, but like lots of people are getting booted from their environments currently. I don't think many of them are because of the reason that I would have a similar situation. That's very, specific shit. But I basically I'm just saying I'm still gonna try to do what I'm doing. It might be weird and kind of more difficult, and it might seem more it might seem more like mental illness if I'm doing it, in the wilderness like that. But I just kind of don't give a fuck. Same as I don't now. I think that archonic energy will do all kinds of shit, hoping to make you give up, hoping to make you falter. And I'm just done with that. I'm done with that. I'm done with the fear of it. I'm done with all that shit. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm trying to do, because I see positive benefit for myself and for others that I consider to be um, physically long distance family. You know, because you told me, those of you that feel that way have been like, hey, what you're doing is very important to me. And that shit is, there's not another feeling like that. It's very similar to playing music or to writing in general. When someone reads something or listens to something or they see you at a show and they say, hey, this means a lot to me. It may sound corny, but 0%, joke in this. It means the world. When anyone says that type of stuff to me, it means the fucking world to hear that and to feel that and know that they're being genuine and sincere when they say that. That's a very big reason that I started talking in the first place. All that other like mouthy shit that comes from like bots or actual troll people or just people with personal shit that they need to work out that they project onto others, none of it means anything to me. Because of, for one, I'm very resolute within myself, but then also things like that help a great deal when you come to me and say, hey, this means a lot to me, or hey, this really resonates with me, or I didn't know that I was looking for family until you said it and then I felt everything you said. Like, there are things that I can quote directly from my brain because they were, as soon as I read them or as soon as they were said to me, they're like etched, burned, tattooed, into my subconscious, into my conscious, into my mind, into my heart, And as much as I don't like sounding corny, and I'll nervously like make jokes so I don't seem as like sentimental and shit. I know that I'm doing those things. It's just hard to get rid of them. I'm working on that, Some of it I think is funny, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Like calling shit gay, I still think that's funny, especially because people don't get like, listen to me talk for 30 minutes or for a video or two, and I don't have anything against gay people. I don't give a fuck about that. That's not important. Who you stick things into or who you allow to stick things into you is not important. As long as you're both of age, not children, it does not matter to me. That doesn't matter. As long as you're not hurting someone also, you know. But regular shit. I shouldn't have to preface any of that. What year are we? What times are we in where you have to say all that to like avoid potentially people being like, I can't believe you said this. Fucking shut up, Yeah, Patreon though. I don't know what to do with that. I like Patreon and I want to do it. I would like to do this in an ethical way, but I would also obviously prefer to not be on the street trying to do it, because that's just a whole lot of headache. I'll do it though. I mean, I've been homeless multiple times, And then also like the prison shit. I really, that's not gonna, it'll suck. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say, oh, I've been homeless. Fuck that. I can take it. I can. That's not what I'm trying to say, though. I'm just saying if that ends up happening, I don't think I'm going to stop doing this. And I've put a lot of thought into that and how it could potentially work. And some of it I can't know the details of because I don't know how malicious the other parties involved are going to be. You can never really know that until they do the things that they do. There's still very weird, secretive stuff going on right now that seems very illegal, you know, which is why I've even been talking to lawyers, you know. It's just very shitty times. When I think that beings should kind of like maybe think of the things that they say to people if it's just a person. If you're talking to, and I mean like comments and shit, and you don't have to care or think about this, but if it seems like a person's just doing that thing by themselves, they don't have like a team, or they're not like at some company making these videos and content and shit, they don't have websites and all that, just chill the fuck out, man. You know? It's very weird because I can take that shit and it doesn't really bother me. But ever since I realized that someone else that is very much like trying to come out of their shell and like all this shit is new to them, YouTube and all that stuff is new to them, and but maybe they're even potentially like naive with it. Like maybe they think that the things that you say are literal, or the things that you're doing, you know, is you're like a real person. You're not just trolling or something. Like there's all these things. They don't know what the fuck troll means. You know, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But if they're new to YouTube and the questions can come across like, you know, what do they mean when they say that those types of beings like don't really deserve your weird personal shit? Don't work your shit out on people on the internet. It's very weird to do. I don't know. Just saying. Doesn't seem that weird to me, but I'm sure I'll get somebody like, you don't tell me where to work my shit out. It's weird watching this happen to society. It's very strange watching civilization kind of like do this so slowly. It's like at the pace of a glacier. That's a really good Converge song. Very good Converge. I love Converge. Glacial Pace, I think, is the name of the song, right? Something like that. Glacial Pace. Glacial Pace? Glacial Pacing? I don't know. Something like that, but fuck it. Converge. Really good band if you like, you know. Anyway. I get the reason even more so that I say it's weird to watch this in such a way is because it's not gonna stop. I think beings are so used to shit happening and then it kind of just like stops or dies off, or something kind of takes everyone's attention and then everything chills out. I don't think that's gonna happen this time. I almost said it's not gonna happen. I'll say I don't think it's gonna happen this time, because of things that they've been like kind of making sure everyone knows, like, hey, we're getting rid of the dollar. You know, we're coming up with this huge little soap opera to do it, but main point, we're getting rid of the dollar. We're going to collapse your fake currency with very little structural help to transition you from one idea to the next. And no one, literally very few people are responding. You know, that's not good news for many. I have been looking forward to that, but I'll admit that is kind of daunting to watch everyone just kind of like realize we haven't had a collapse of the dollar before. We've had a very intense recession. We've had a very, very intense depression, and even just some like little anomalies like stock market crashes and things like that. And every single one of those, there were people that like checked out. They were like, I don't know what to do with this anymore. I don't know what's happening. I'm the fuck out of here. That happened multiple times, you know? And so the fact that we're now coming up on a collapse, that is a very specific wording that they're using. A collapse. The dollar will no longer, it's not just going to not have backing, that happened a long time ago, and everything kind of worked its way out. This time, the dollar will no longer be recognized potentially at all. That's what they're saying. You know, you can't always trust what's being said and whatnot, but there's some very dystopian shit that's going on. And my usual channels are talking about it, but then when you look at the kind of more macrocosm of all this shit, none of them are. You hear some talk about BRICS. Not many. I've heard two people mention the Google update, where it's that we're basically about to get 1984. It's about to be V for Vendetta for all of us. I think beings that are talking about it think it's maybe just like going to be the content creators and YouTubers and bloggers and shit like that, but no, that doesn't mean that at all. T-Mobile actually, I think, was the first to kind of like tease at what they're about to do. T-Mobile is trying to say that they want to fine you, right? Isn't it like fine you $500 or some stupid shit? Some kind of craziness. I'm sure it won't end up being that, but they're trying to like fine you a specific amount of money or some kind of negative outcome if you speak about something that they deem to be like dangerous or, you know, a national security threat or something like that. Censorship. It's direct censorship. And these things kind of coming around at the same time, I don't like giving credence to things before, you know, the chicken comes to roost, the rooster comes to chicken, but it doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. The fact that you're like, hey, at the end of February, we're about to start doing some shit with this mediation that we do with all your stuff. And then at the same time as that, they're like, hey, those green pieces of paper that you spend, we're gonna get those. We're gonna get those out of here. Same with the coins. We're gonna get rid of your coins too. Matter of fact, let's just say all your currency is no longer gonna be effective. You know, it's disturbing, but it's way more disturbing the lack of response. And I don't even think it's them like, you know, I don't think they're limiting the media response. I think just no one's talking about no one's talking about the shit for real. It's people are just more interested in hearing what Cat Williams has to say about other fucking comedians and shit. It's very, very concerning and disturbing. But, you know, what the fuck are you gonna do, right? Other than keep observing. You just keep observing, and you know, we have our digital soapboxes now instead of having to go stand around downtown. Can you imagine if all those that are speaking, even if you took out the fake ones, if you took out all those that are genuinely and sincerely speaking about topics, what would that look like in a physical sense downtown, the way you used to have to do it? You used to have to stand on a soapbox and like kind of street preach. You know what I mean? What would that look like? Because there's a decent number of us now, right? There's a decent number of us now, so it's like, huh. I wonder how many that would be. Oh, I'm watching it do the filter stuff. I need to stop watching it though. It's very weird. I wonder if I can make it stop it. You stop that. Yup, kinda. That's fucking weird, bro. Uh, it's like hurry up and wait. I'm just kind of sick of this very slow, dumb progression. The glacial pace. Um, I saw. Oh, I was gonna say I saw somewhere, but I know where it was. Long Beach Griffey had a video or a story. It was a story, a couple of them really, of all of the faculty at CSU are going on strike for the first week of classes. And as much shit as I talk to academia, I really have to applaud that. If it's a real thing and it's not just some fucking like, you know, sim narrative shit. If that's organic and real, I fucking applaud you. And it might. I don't think I should even have to preface it that way. I don't hate academia. I don't hate academians. Like, I just don't like the way that it is. I think that the concept of schools and mystery schools, you know, it's all been just so subverted and fucked that I'm not a fan. But still, though, I can admit good work and I can admit good works. So, like, going on strike like that. And that's something where, you know, the actors going on strike, that was a fucking joke. And the writers, the actors and the writers going on strike, that was a fucking joke, man. I mean, even to those that were supposed to be hit by it, like the producers and the studios and shit, they didn't give a fuck about that, man. You were working as scabs. Some of you were still working on projects and you just couldn't talk about it. Like, that wasn't real, you know? But this is an institution. This is a school. People paid them for that first week of school. So them being like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to walk out. All right. I see you. You know what I mean? I fucking see you. That's pretty sick, bro. That's cold. That's a cold piece. She was cold as ice. We need more of that. We need more of that, dude. It shouldn't just be those of us that are really, really going through tough times trying to stick to these principles, you know? Really seriously going through tough times trying to stick to these principles, trying to have scruples through this transitional period that we're all supposedly talking about, but then everyone's like, well, I'll see you after I get off. I mean, even if you have your own, even if you're doing your own thing, which that's the best possible scenario for still operating within this paradigm that we're, you know, inflicting upon ourselves as much as they're inflicting it upon us. That still sucks, you know? Like, not telling people to close their businesses or to do, you know, without, but like, where you can barter instead of accepting money. There's things that we could be doing that no one's doing, and then looking at others who are really trying to stick to that shit and like either looking down on them or saying, well, you're just gonna have to do what we're doing because we're still doing it. And my opinion is that sucks. That's shitty, you know. What's up, Void? I just think that we're getting closer and closer, and you can either let them make the decision for you, shut the dollar off, shut the power off. They're telling you the things that they're going to do. We could do it first. Do you understand the power of that? We could do it first, and then it's some fucking Jedi fucking Marshall Mathers fake story type shit. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know anything about that dude. I really just said it. What is it? 8 Mile? 8 Mile. It's some 8 Mile shit. You know? Just hit them up first and be like, Throw spaghetti up on him. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. You know, the thing. Do the thing you did in 8 Mile, man. We do all the shit first, and then they're just looking at you like, fuck, you pissed your own pants. Did you poop your own pants? Fuck, he pooped his own pants. Then what are they gonna do? You know? Especially if our arms are locked in a phalanx and we're giving each other food, we're giving each other water, we're making sure each other are safe. All that gang stalking shit is out. We're fucking you up if we catch you doing that shit. Like, we could do this. Just most are pussed out. Most are pusillanimous, and or you like this. You like the way that this is. Which, you know, there are some that are completely oblivious and asleep. I can't fault them, really. I mean, I do, but I can't fault them within this that I'm about to say. But those of you that do talk like this, or are influencers that are taking the donations and doing the readings and doing the videos every day or every other day and shit like that, but you're still participating in the thing, hey, fuck you, bruh, you know? Like, there's a big one, a very big platform, talks about the Emerald Tablets a lot, takes people to fake Egypt, doesn't tell the entire truth about where the tablets came from, who wrote them, who wrote that particular version of the story down, lying by omission, very dead eyes. That being put out a video saying we should all stop participating, nigga, you look like you participate more than everybody. You know what I mean? You look like you participate at least 4 or 5 times a day. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you look like you participate heavily, you know? And look, the knee-jerk reaction is going to be to call me a hater or some shit, or be like, hey, you like to, bro, that is the 3rd cop car to pass my house. They just keep... Hey, which thing did I say that really fucked with y'all? You know what I mean? Which thing did I say that really made you upset? And it's, you know, it's little dumb shit like slowing down in front of my house, or parking in front of my house, or turning your little siren, or the not the siren, the light part, hitting the lights in front of the house and just sitting there for a minute. Just very weird shit, you know? It's menacing. That's a law. You're breaking the law. You're menacing. I think there's some other ones too, if I'm not mistaken. Just off a glance by looking through the penal codes. Yeah, I'm just, you know, disillusioned with all of this. That's why I talk the way I do. That's why I talk about the things I talk about. Just disillusioned with all this. And I'm really not trying to... It's hard not to, but I'm trying not to come off as, like, negative or anything like that. But at the same time, like, how positive can I be about these things, about these topics, you know? I think it would come off as way more sociopathic or, like, psychopathic if I was, like, smiling and talking about these very bleak, shitty things that I am trying to understand and research. It would come off as really fucking weird, you know? Or that Copco. You're gone? Alright. It might be the same one, just doing laps. Doing laps. That should be illegal. I'm pretty sure it is, but I'm, you know, until you actually do something, I'll just keep noticing it and being like, what the fuck? Such a weird thing to do. I talked about that yesterday. I've never brought that up before, and I've never thought about it, but to be so scummy as to, like, be cool with gang stalking as a job. I've never thought about that before. The concept of gang stalking as a job, even if you just do it digitally, you're kind of a piece of shit. And not really kind of, you're just a piece of shit for that. You know? Like, there are beings that have checked out of this place because of gang stalking. They've left their families and disappeared because of gang stalking. There's all kinds of like stories that I've come across, like when I first learned what it was, and just some of the stories that I found were really disheartening, very sad. Sad shit. So, I mean, those that are willing to do that, and I'm not really surprised by the ones that tend to do it. They do other shitty guy jobs. Well, someone's got to do it. Shut the fuck up, dude. Man. I think this is a defrag, huh? This is absolutely a defrag. For sure. This is not a pregame. This is not a topic specifically. Definitely a defrag. Much needed defragmentation. Man, another channel did that thing that I talked about. It's so creepy. I really want to just be like, oh, it's just synchronicity. If it is, bro, that's some heavy shit. If this is synchronicity on all these channels doing this, heavy synchron. Because this is, look, I'm not bringing it up because we talk about a similar topic. I'm saying like the way that they talk when they talk about it, it doesn't even sound like them in their other videos. I don't know how to say it, but like just very strong intuition that it's like, oh, that's, you know, largely different from how you usually are. This topic came out of nowhere. I will say, though, that this one kind of retained his own, you know, style within the same vein as that. But even that made it kind of more pronounced, you know, when he was talking like him and when he was talking like me. And again, I say, it's not that I care. It just makes me feel weird. If you would just be like, hey... You don't even have to be like, I like your. You could just be like, I watched. Or like a thumbs. Just a thing that lets me know that I'm not tripping. You know? But I'm sure that that's like intentional. Like that's a part of the thing. The whole thing. Right? I really hope when I continue to listen to this video that I don't have to redo this story. Because there's some... I think I'm just not going to. There's some good stuff in there that's not even just the dream experience. There's other shit in there that's just, you know, good stuff. So I think I'm just going to leave that. And when I get back to the dream videos, or when I get back to the dream talk, I'll just move on to the next one. And that'll have to be... I made that playlist. It does kind of throw things off that's like so far away within the uploads. But hey, you know, oh, I can put, so I'll just do stuff. I'll put the link to that part in the description. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. I guess this is why Sean the AI said I talk too much, right? Because I do stuff like that. I just don't give a fuck, dude. That's how I work. This is how I work. And if that's like annoying or you don't prefer it, then don't fucking watch. I don't understand that at all. That was very, very telling to me. Should I... No, that's not cool. I was about to say, should I directly say something to some of these platforms that I'm talking about? That was very quick. There was no transition between those two things. I'm not gonna fucking go bother that pyramid schemer. Ooh, double entendre. Was that a trip? That was a triple entendre, I think. Pyramid schemer, because he does the, he does the Egypt trip thing. Pyramid schemer because he sells stuff, like, and he has these companies and shit that you can get involved in. And then the last one. I mean, you could say pyramid schemer because the real ones are over here, like the original ones. But I tried it. I tried it. You know? Am I worried about the gang stalking? I mean, not really. I'm a little more concerned about it uh, because I have a kid, but I know what I'll do to protect my kid. You know? I know what I'll do to protect my champion, little champion. So no, not particularly. It is off-putting. That is off-putting, especially like such a ramp up in such a short amount of time. If it was like building up and it just kept building and building and building, that would be one thing. But the kind of instantaneous ramp up, that is not cool. And then the kind of like said without words corroborating you know actions, conduct by his mom, all that stuff kind of ramping up at the same time, that is creepy. I'll definitely say that is very creepy and not enjoyed. But what are you gonna do? All I can do is protect him and not scare him, not freak him out. Just kind of handle things as they come, and know that regardless to what happens, I'm not a bitch. You know what I mean? I'm not a weirdo that does the things that these others are doing. And, I do believe in karma. I do very much believe in karma. So I'm not going to say I know how it works. I'm not going to say who's delivering said karma or what it actually does, but I do believe in it wholeheartedly. And I think that it's very complex. I think you can transmute it in real time, depending on your mind state and your, energy. But I think there are some that are very, very robotic, very, very, I almost said reptilian, but I don't even know what that would mean. It's just some shit that almost got parroted from hearing it over and over again. Robotic. We'll stick with robotic and unempathetic. I don't know. I think I'm up out of here. And I'll be back to talk more about dreams. Void, if you are around, I may see if you want to come in, whether I'm on the actual dream talk or just kind of doing this again. Okay, love you, bye.